Welcome to Black Businesses Matter, a podcast about why Black businesses matter and the benefits of collaborating and advocating for Black businesses to drive impact. Each episode will cover legacy, hope, Black joy, funding sources, cultural shifts, equality, and so much more. We will provide inspiration and action while spreading some joy to a thriving community of Black business owners and leading thought leaders.
I am Larvetta Lofton, your host and the founder of the L3 Agency.
Known as the brand maven who transforms organizations with her storytelling prowess, meet Larvetta L. Lofton, host of Black Businesses Matter, a podcast about why Black businesses matter and the benefits of collaborating and advocating for Black businesses to drive impact.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Black Businesses Matter. Y'all know what this month is. Maybe you all don't know, but if you've been rocking with us, we highlight Black women in this month. It is Black Women's History Month. April is devoted to that. So let me say this. I'm going to be dapping and singing praises and screaming and doing all the things for the Black women that are making history in this world. And so I want you to join me in doing that, whether you're in your car, whether you are on that treadmill, whether you are working. I need you to shine light on some dope Black women. And I am excited that I'm in the studio with one who is from the South Side of Chicago and came in here with all this skin glow, y'all. All the skin glow. So I'm just saying all this. We are going to go video and audio because we needed to show that glow. It is springtime. And so we got to glow. I posted that and I said, it's time to get rid of sweaters and go for the glow. Oh, get for the glow. So hailing from the South Side of Chicago, Deida K. Massey is the founder and CEO of Bixa Beauty, a vegan-friendly product line that empowers individuals by celebrating beauty through the richness of cultural diversity, ethical practices, and inclusivity. Our introduction of 16 lip whips, she gonna tell us about that, and one lip balm has ignited a new era of clean beauty to the marketplace. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. So before we get into Bixa, and I want to know who you were as a little girl. Who is Deida as a little girl? Was she the girl that was in all the things, fashion fair, all the things, and making up?
Yes.
Tell us.
So I was a very I had a wild imagination as a little girl.
I love it.
So I used to watch Soul Train with my cousins and brothers. And I used to watch my mom. Back in the day, they used to go to a club called the Copper Box.
I do remember. Now we telling our age.
But I do remember. My mom used to get dressed up for the Copper Box.
Yes.
And she would leave. I would part my hair like hers and put 10 barrettes down. Like I had this, I wanted to show that I had long hair. And I would go on her lipstick and I would put her lipstick on with a bobby pin because she was digging down in the tube.
That was a thing,
right?
That was a thing.
So I was very imaginary little girl. Yeah. And I also thought I wanted to be a performer. So I used to have my cousins lined up on the wall in our basement. And I used to think I was Debbie Allen.
Okay.
And so I would go outside and get a stick off the tree. And because I had Debbie Allen in fame. How she used to have that little
I'm a Debbie Allen fan, so I'm just having a moment. Like, I feel you on that.
And so my cousins and I was just always this very
bubbly,
energetic, wanted to entertain, wanted to, putting makeup on my cousins, telling them, we used to use my mom's lipstick for their eyeshadow, for the blush, for the lips. I mean, I just had this wild imagination, from putting makeup on, from using my mom's lipstick all the way to becoming Debbie Allen.
I love it.
So I used to make dance routines with my cousins off of Dove's Cry with Prince and girl, I was something else. But my cousins remind me now that we're older and they're like, Deida, you was girl,
I love it.
You were an entertainer already to make into some capacity. We always knew that you would be in the entertainment world.
I love that.
You know.
And I love that, right? this idea of like, I think I can be a singer. Like I am this person, you know, and I have the makeup, but just knowing that as I look back and like seeing you today, like that's who you are today.
Right.
I know.
And one of my cousins, she had to remind me of that. She was like, do you remember you used to carry a little makeup kit?
Wow.
And I was like, what? She said it used to be in a sock. And all the makeup would be in a sock. And you would unroll the sock and all the makeup would fall out. It would be a pencil sharpener, a lip pencil, an eyeliner, and lipstick. I said, I did. She said, yeah. I used to say, come on, let's, put on your makeup. I didn't recall any of that, but she reminded me. So she was like, so that's probably, I didn't know you were going to become a makeup artist because my background was law. My grandfather was a judge here in Chicago, and he was my mentor.
Shout out to your child. So share his name because I think
his name. He's deceased now, but his name is Judge Charles Durham. That's my grandfather and my mentor. So I thought I was going to be an attorney, and my creative side was to become a makeup artist, and so my cousin reminded me that was something that was always in you innately. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it now. Here we are,
But tell me and I would love to dig a little bit deeper, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Grandfather, judge, wants to see his granddaughter be this also
prosecutor,
judge. Probably he probably saw elected official because she can get and galvanize people. So knowing that you decided to really follow your true passion, like where did you battle that? Because I think for sometimes people, are trying to not follow the parents' wishes on our lives.
Sure. Especially today.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but in some regards, I always say that that's where the disruption comes into place, that we become disruptors.
That's right.
So at what point did you decide, hey, Granddad, love you, respect you, but that's not what I was called to do?
So that's a very good question. So I realized I used to advocate for abused and neglected children with the Office of the Public Guardian, Cook County Office, Public Guardian's Office. And so while I was working there, I was also attending Loyola School of Law.
Okay.
And so the days that I did not have class or before I had class, I would go and moonlight at the makeup counters on Michigan Avenue. So the Bobby Browns, then Calvin Klein had a makeup line, NARS, Laura Mercier. Yeah. So I would moonlight at those counters. And I just had just a love, for adventure. And I knew that taking a career in makeup would take me along that journey. And so I never told my grandfather. Unfortunately, he passed before I pursued, but I actually quit my job at the Cook County Public Guardian's Office and moved to Los Angeles knowing no one.
Wow.
And so I know then he would have said, you have lost your mind. You know, you need security, you need stability, all those things that our parents try to tell us.
Yes.
But it was a leap of faith.
Yes, it was.
And that was over 25 years ago. Wow. So that's when Aaliyah was still living, DMX, because I worked with them. And so I just kind of took a leap of faith. I wouldn't tell anybody now in 2025 to do that because these times are different.
It is. It's so different, right?
I graduated from Loyola in 2000. And let me be clear, I only got my master's of jurisprudence in child and family law. I didn't get my Juris Doctorate because at the time I realized that I didn't want to finish law school. I didn't want to be an attorney. And so I was like, well, I'm degreed up. I'm gone. I'm leaving, and go to LA. And so... and moving to LA was risky. Okay. It was definitely a faith move, but I knew I was following something, and it was, 25 years later, I see how my career has evolved. And so
it was necessary.
It was necessary. Yeah. And I just tell people, just, follow your heart, plan accordingly. I did have a plan.
You got to have a plan.
You got to have a plan. Because people be like, I was sleeping in my car. And no shade to those who do it.
Correct.
No shade,
but you got to have a plan.
But I was like, I got to have a plan. You know what I mean? So I went to Los Angeles first. And,
How long did you stay in Los Angeles?
I was there for 7 years.
Wow.
So I moved to LA twice, but that's a long story.
I love it.
But the first time I moved in 2002, I moved to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were there For 7 years then?
I was there for 7 years.
That's a long time, though.
I was there for 7 years. Total. 7 years total.
Got it.
And it's just, it was necessary. And I'm just so glad I took that leap of faith.
I am too.
You know what I mean?
I do. I'm glad that you took the leap of faith, because what happens is, and I think I can say this. I think when we're young, we got to do it in those years, right?
Yes.
I think you don't want to be the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right?
Exactly.
And I know how that, I decided to move to New York, and at the time was getting my master's in fine. I wanted to do theater. And so I did it for a little bit, thought I was going to go and get my master's in NYU, thought that was the path, but I decided to do it because I watched 9/11 and the stories of 9/11 of all the people said, I wish. It was weird.
It was weird.
All the stories were saying it. She always wanted. He always wanted. And I said, I don't want my story to be that.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to say she fulfilled,
yes,
her dreams.
Yes.
And so people thought I was crazy, but I do believe entrepreneurs have to be crazy.
Oh, you have to be like crazy.
It's got to be to a point like delusional.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Because I remember when I made that decision to move to Los Angeles, it almost felt like an out of body experience. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like now at 50, I'm like, could I have made that decision where I am today now? Yeah. Absolutely not.
I could see
That's why I said earlier, we're living in some different times. So there are more things to consider now. You know what I mean?
It's a lot more.
It's a lot more to consider.
It is no longer like, okay, leap of faith. Like I was just telling somebody, you've got, climate issues, you got terrorist issues, you got safety as it relates to being snatched. Like you got
housing.
Housing.
In LA, the rent is astronomical. But when I was there, I felt like it was high then. But now people probably wish like, you was paying how much? Yeah. I was just paying like $760 and I had a roommate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't get that.
You sure can.
In LA now.
Same way in New York. It was the craziest thing. And I just was like, this can't be. But to your point, at that rate, I was like, this is high. Then look where we are today.
So times have changed. That's why when people say, when I give my testimony or my story, my leap of faith may not look like what your leap of faith needs to look like for today. And so in that time, my leap of faith was different. You know what I mean? So you have to discern and be wise as to, how to navigate that decision. Yeah. So, I
love it. So makeup artist, right? Who has probably, I know you've worked with celebrities that probably we know and some we may not know, because I think there are celebrities that keep their celebrityism to themselves, right? They have a cachet feel. And so the transition of saying, I don't want to just be, and nothing against just being, because I want to make sure that I say just being a makeup artist is okay. Right. That's the road, but also adding product to your story,
Absolutely.
Right? Because
Absolutely.
in some regards, right, when we think about service-based, you're a service-based practitioner. Service-based practitioners, right, it's us.
Yes.
So we want a product that people can buy from us when they can't get to us.
That's true.
They can't get to you they can't get to your status, right? They can't get to you. Right. But I can get to that. I can go to that lipstick. I can get to that lipstick and look like Didi that Deida has helped me. Right. So tell me when you decided that product was going to be an area that you were going to focus on for the business.
I think there was a makeup artist. Her name was Roxana Floyd. She's deceased now. So rest in peace. Yeah. But she was someone that I worked with at Oprah's Legends Ball. I was one of the youngest, one of 9 that was chosen to work Oprah's Legends Ball. Yes. And I remember when Roxana Floyd, at the time, her client was Queen Latifah. Okay. And she was helping, no, I'm sorry, not helping. She was developing that that line that that Queen Latifah was the face of.
Yeah, I do remember that line.
And I was just like, wow, that's pretty dope. She's a dope makeup artist, and here she is. She has her own product line.
Excuse me.
And so I think at that point, I knew I wanted to be more than just a makeup artist. And let me just say, it's not easy. You have to find your niche. But one of the things I knew for sure is that I did not want to just be private label. You know what I mean? Someone that just, got a product and just hot stamp my company's name on it. No shade to those who do it, but I knew I wanted to be unique, and I wanted to be a beauty innovator and someone who disrupts the industry.
Yes, I love disruptors.
Yes,
I love it.
So I just waited for my turn in regards to finding what that unique disruption would be into this industry, into this marketplace.
I love, and I'm only putting this little pin, I love that you said, I'm waiting my turn. Because a lot of times we see stuff and we think, it's my turn.
Or I can do it too.
Right.
And I'm going to do it too.
Right.
And we
so
jump
I
on
think
it.
when it just hit, like, I'm going to wait. And I think that there's a blessing in the wait.
Yes.
Right?
And I'm still waiting my turn.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
And I think we don't understand that the wait can still be a winning season.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't have. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes.
I love that you said it, because there lies, I just think, a level of knowing that, it's really about God's timing, right?
Sure.
And we know that certain people shine when they're supposed to shine.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we can shine too soon.
That's
and
true.
it not, right?
That's right.
There are brands and products that came out too soon. And I think Fashion Fair was one of them. I think it was a great brand, but I think it just came out too soon. I think in a different time, we could be still rocking it, right? But because at that time, there wasn't enough of us.
Yeah.
They were carrying. Sometimes when you're the only, it's a lot to carry.
Yeah, sure.
It's a lot,
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
And there's this level of perfection.
Sure.
It's got to be this. It's got, because
Absolutely.
you don't have anything else.
Right.
To be able to, I think I'm a fan of, why can't I walk into a store and I see multiple brands by Black people? I don't want, because there's multiple non-Black, right?
Yeah.
So there, I remember the Wet and Wilds, right?
Yes.
We knew all of that.
Yes.
But it was
521.
521,
That
baby.
was my lipstick
And so we knew that, but there was plentiful. There
Sure.
was Lord, so you could choose and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Sure.
But we always seem to believe that it only can be one.
It can be as many as we want it to be. I think for me, I just wanted something unique.
Yeah.
Just for me. Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
And
But you're unique anyway.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, so whatever you produce is gonna produce uniqueness, but I'm just saying, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Okay?
Yes, I just wanted to wait my turn and find something. And so while on a missions trip in 2016 in Zanzibar, I ran across this amazing plant called Bixa.
So that's because I was about to ask you, where did you come up with the name? Because I was like, there's got to be an origin.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, that's the origin. Yes. So I
yes.
named the plant. I named the beauty. I named my lip line after the plant, Bixa.
Wow.
The name of the plant is called Bixa orellana.
Okay.
And so I just took Bixa and put beauty, and there you have it, Bixa Beauty.
And tell me about the plant.
So the plant nickname is the lipstick plant. So I had an aha moment when he told me that. Now, unbeknownst to the tour guide, he didn't know I was a makeup artist in TV and film. He didn't know my background. He didn't know my story. He didn't know anything. Wow. But God did.
Yes.
And I had an aha moment when he said the lipstick plant. I said, God dog it. I'm going to create some lipsticks from this plant.
That's awesome.
And that's how it happened.
That's awesome.
And that's how it happened. So today we have 16 colors from the plant.
Tell me about, you said 16 lip whips.
Lip whips. So we call it lip whips because my chemist actually whips it up in the lab.
I love that.
Like, it's a process to make it because we have to, again, everything is raw materials. It's plant-based. So it's not your typical lipstick.
Okay.
It's not a lip gloss.
Okay.
It's it goes on very moisturizing and it dries down matte. And it's long wearing, so no smudge, no budge.
And it sure ain't no smudge. You just drank some water, baby. It didn't look like you walked in here. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just having a moment.
And so we just pride ourselves in that because it's a new way of beauty, clean beauty. You know, we're introducing. That's why I say it's a kind of I'm a beauty innovator because we have introduced. This clean beauty from a plant. It's really a plant because so many people be like, oh, we're plant-based luxury and, plant-based and cruelty-free, paraben-free, but we really are a cruelty-free, paraben-free, chemical-free.
Can you tell us what that means?
So that means the coloring is not red dye.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Now you're telling me that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's made with beets. You know what I mean? The dye, not like. Yeah. We go to the store and get some beets, but like a beet powder, Okay. And so being a makeup artist, color theory is very important.
Okay.
And so we have to mix foundations and things of that nature. And so you're using red and yellow and blue. And we know that, red and white makes pink. And then you put a little bit more red or blue in it, makes a little more fuchsia. So that's how we came up with the colors. And then by me working in the industry for so long as a makeup artist, I wanted my names to be catchy, relatable. So then like today, for the month of March, we're doing this whole dream team. And the dream team consists of risk taker, deal breaker, and money maker. So we wanted to highlight women and ask them, are you a risk taker? What makes you a risk taker? Are you a deal breaker? What makes you a deal breaker? Are you money maker? Shake your money maker. What makes you a money maker? So we wanted to relate names, fanfare, and Bella the Ball is our top seller, and that's
Bella
a red.
The Ball?
Yes, Bella the Ball. That means you walk in and you just command your attention.
I love
and then Merlot Me, that's a beautiful wine color. So I came up with because people ask me all the time on shows and panels, like, how did you come up with the names? Well, I used to work with NARS, and I love NARS branding.
I do too.
Orgasm.
You
know what I mean? They have a blush called Orgasm. And I was like, when I come out with my stuff, I'm going to have a name that, you know what I mean? That's really catchy and empower you. And so the dream team is what empowers you. People, when I ask people, are you a risk taker? They like, whoa, okay, what makes you a risk taker? That's empowering, right? Especially for women.
Yeah.
And so,
I love that. Like and we know this to be this when we say 521, right? And we know that from back in when but it was something about that was a connection, right?
It was a connection.
That 520, you was like, you got the 521, but I think you're also creating connection.
Absolutely.
Because if there's an opportunity, oh, you must be a risk taker. Oh, and I think there creates that. So I love that this idea that beauty, I think in some regards, right, that beauty is personal, but I do think that it's a connection piece.
It is.
But I think for years we thought beauty was like, it was almost as if, I remember even as a little girl, like, we didn't do makeup because, our parents was like, no, you get you some lip gloss and some blush.
Yeah, my mom wasn't having it either.
But then when you got some, it was like a secret. Like you wouldn't tell nobody. You wouldn't be like, you would never say that you got your makeup done.
Absolutely.
That was like,
right. That was like, right.
It was
like taboo or something.
It was so taboo.
It was very taboo.
So today, we coming out like, I just got my
makeup done. Right. And the aunties coming out getting their makeup done. Right. Love it. Absolutely.
And so as you've built this product, right, you see what's happening in what we're dealing with, right? So is retail a space that you desire? Of course, this post D&I, we don't know what that's going to look like, within that retail channel. Is that somewhere you want to go? Or is that like, if it happens, it happens?
Yeah. I'm like, if it happens, it happens.
Okay.
My team and I have an advising team and, we're talking about it, but I am in the retail space. I'm in, Bixa is sold in Accra in Ghana.
Okay.
At this store called The Lot. It is well visited by tourists all around the world.
Oh, wait, let's pause. Congratulations.
Oh, thank
being
you,
international.
Sister. Thank you.
I think you ran past that. I'm like, hold up. We're not running past stuff that some people see it's not achievable.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
yes,
so
but thank you so much. You're like, let's take a beat.
Yeah, let's just take a beat. Man, I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, and you said it so flowing, like not like she down the street at 79th Street, and nothing against 79th Street, but she went and took us all the way. I mean, I'm like,
you took us to a whole nother continent. And you just like dropped the ball like, man.
And I was like, I wasn't ready for that. Just so you know, I just wasn't. So thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
But we are at the store called The Lot in Accra.
Okay.
We are also at the store in East Dundee, Illinois called, I don't know, my best friend is going to kill me because she's my bestie. It is her store.
Oh, hey, bestie. We still love you.
Willow and Birch.
Oh, Willow and Birch?
Yes, Willow and Birch.
I think I've heard, well, how do I know them?
Yep. So she has a lot of small owned businesses. It's a beautiful, beautiful store. And upstairs she has a yoga studio.
Okay.
But incredible store. It's Bixa is sold there. All of my colors are sold there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how she supports me and supports the mission. Because also it's important to say that Bixa is the lip whip that gives back. So 10% of our annual proceeds empower girls in Tanzania at the Uzima Center. So we take that money and we help girls go to school.
I love that.
Continue their education from on a collegiate level.
Okay.
And so we are the lip whip. So everybody who purchases it, you're a part of change. Social impact.
Yeah.
So so those are the two retail spaces that we are in. Our lip balms are sold inside of Carver 47 in the Kenwood High Park.
It's been
Carver 47 sells our lip balms.
Really? Okay. You know, we frequent there all the time. Okay.
Yep,
Carver 47, guys. If you're in Chicago, you know, if you're not in another continent, if you're in Chicago, Carver 47, the lip balms are sold there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And we were inside the Black Beauty Collective that has since closed.
I know. What happened?
I don't know.
You don't. Okay.
I don't know.
It was such a cute little.
It was a great collective of. Well, you were speaking earlier about a collective of.
It was beautiful.
That was an incubator for that. Yeah. So we were once there. We thrived there, and it was great idea. So we're no longer there, and then we're just direct to consumer online. Yeah.
And so tell folks how they can order. Bixa
so you can
Beauty.
order Bixa at www.bixabeauty.com. You can follow us on Instagram. You can order through our Instagram page. We have a link in our bio. A shop link in our bio, or just go directly to the website.
So now that they can get products, so do you take clients in makeups?
You know what? I started working behind the scenes. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I started working in TV and film it's been about 12 years now.
Okay.
And because of the long hours on set, I'm gonna be honest. I stopped doing weddings and proms a long time ago.
Okay,
but I do still do personal clients.
You do personal clients.
I do when I'm not on set.
Got it.
Because of the long hours.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then on weekends, I just want my weekends to myself.
Come on now. When
you 12 to 14 hours a day, you like, I need my weekend.
I didn't know that we would say that. I used to say I was as an entrepreneur, I worked 7 days a week and I was proud of it. Now I'm like, no, I don't.
I need my weekends. Especially if you're working 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
But I do still have clients. You know, American Heart Association is one of my clients. Nancy Brown, who's the CEO, she comes to town.
Nice.
Some doctors from New York, they come in town. So different people.
See what I said, guys? She got celebrities. See, the ones y'all don't know, but they are celebrities.
They are. And they're great paying clients.
I know they are. Let's say that part.
They never ever like, I'm not sure. They like, what's your rate?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Done.
Yeah, done.
Yep. It's completed.
No, because honestly, some celebrities, they don't want to pay. People, they don't want to pay or they want a deal.
What is that,
like,
Deida? What?
I don't know.
Is it? What is it?
I think it's a spirit of entitlement. I don't know why we like that with each other. Like, I mean,
but you work every day.
I can't tell AT&T I can't pay you. I can't tell American Express you ain't getting your money this month.
Your money because what?
Because I did somebody make up for free,
right?
Of a half
but
price.
I don't think I think in a lot of ways, right? On one side, and I say this, on one side, we see you as a human, right?
Sure.
And don't want you to win. But on another side, you don't see us as a human.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful of that, right? When we make mistakes, we're not humans. Sure. But then on this side, when we give up free because you see us as humans or give us service for free, so we just have to watch that because humans have to make money on this earth.
On this earth.
To live. Like, I don't know.
Food, gas,
that part.
phone.
Like, there's humans have to.
Insurance.
Correct.
It's like I got bills too.
It's serious.
Yeah.
And so
some people, majority of the people I've worked with in my career have always paid. No one has.
You give off that. Like, it's just
nobody has ever said like, oh, can I get a break or anything? Because I'm like, no.
Yeah. I can see
and
that.
And in this day and age, I'm not waiting 90 or 30 days for no payment.
I get it.
Zelle, Cash App. We have all of these platforms. Venmo. So, go ahead and run that cash.
And cash. And cash.
Like all that. Yeah. No more 90, 30 days. And you know what? People respect it. Even with my corporate clients, like American Heart, they run the money.
I get it.
Because people need their money today. Yeah.
They do. Like, it's hard.
It is.
And I say this even as an agency, like I try my best. And oftentimes for us, where I run into, and I say run into it, is because keeping our bookkeeping on one. So when I go and do, it throws so then
your
you try
bottom line.
Yes, so a lot of times, I'm not going to speak for anybody. I can only speak for myself. But because I know that this person I'm going to have to say, well, this coming out, essentially out of my pocket,
Absolutely.
Right? Because that's not fair for that, right? They got up, they showed up, they delivered a service in the same way I go get my nails done,
that's
right? And you have to get out of that, like you go get your nails done, right? Yeah. And you walk out of there for some places and you swipe it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's
you
the same
walk
thing.
right. You walk into any establishment, you don't walk out without swiping.
That's right.
I mean, if you do, there's consequences.
There's consequences, right?
There's consequences. So I want to talk. You made of course, before we started, you really brought up something that really hit home. We both were in the room celebrating Women's History Month.
Yes.
It was such a joy to be amongst that level of energy.
Yes. I enjoyed it.
I did too. And so, listeners, we went to an event. Shout out to Noelle, who's been on the show.
Yes.
Noelle, you guys of Busy Boulevard, who's been on the show. And so I love that I get people who's been on the show and then I show up in other places and now we got another guest. I've been in rooms and I'm like, in this room is 3 guests. Yeah. Because part of it was my reason for building this podcast was as someone who worked in PR, helped brands be resurrected who were no longer relevant, that I found out that when I really did my research, almost less than 1 out of 3 ever received PR.
Wow. PR is important.
It's important, but a lot of
it's so important.
We didn't. But part of it, there's one is we don't know that we need it. That's one. 2, when we do, we don't have a strategy. And then 3, we don't see enough of us to know that we can do it.
Sure.
So in that regard, it was like, let's build a platform and be disruptors in allowing shining light on these, of course, we're from Chicago and highlighting Chicago. We've had people outside of Chicago, which we love, but it was really to make sure that if PR was your bear and you didn't have it, you can come on here and really shine and really tell your story and leverage it.
Sure.
Some of our guests leverage it. Some of our guests don't.
Yeah.
And what I say is you can leverage it for capital. Yes. You can leverage it for funding options. Yes. You can say, I've been on this platform. And again, and I think about this with funding when you and I were talking about funding, because our very first funder, Lanier Richardson of Chicago Trend, he gave a statement. He said in his first episode, it was like our first episode, he said, what would it look like if Black businesses were over underfunded. And that just brought chills to my entire body because
Metropolis.
Yeah, yes. And so we don't overfund, meaning having enough staff, having enough PR, having all the things,
marketing,
all of it.
Yeah.
So then capital would be easy because we have all these things. And when he gave it, brought out light. But you brought out something that I think is powerful as we celebrate this month as Black Women's History Month. You said many Black women entrepreneurs are over-mentored. Tell us in the way that you presented that. Because I think that is a telling statement that needs to be explored.
Yes. I was perusing through Instagram one time and I saw one person say that, and she literally said what I had been feeling. And I just think, I think a lot of Black women own businesses. I mean, shout out to every Black woman owned. Shout out to you.
Yes.
And all of us who are out here, because this thing is not easy.
Breathe.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It is a mental.
It is.
Spiritual.
It is.
Fight.
It is.
With self.
It is.
Daily.
It is.
Moment by moment. And so I have learned, let me just say this before I answer your question, to take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
So I won't quit.
That's
so I won't give up.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of Black women-owned businesses are over-mentored and underfunded.
That's right there.
And because we're so dynamic, because when I'm in rooms like the room we were in, and I listen, like earlier this month, I was in Atlanta with Dr. Kamika Smith, because I was one of the recipients of
the scholarship, the grants.
Yes. And I was just listening to those women in the room describe their businesses and what they did and how they came up with it. And I'm just like, dope. Like, that's dope. Like, you came up with that. Even when people talk to me about it, it was like, you came up with that? Like, I went to the same farm and didn't think to come up with a lipstick, you know?
Yeah.
And so if we have that level of intellect, if you get us at a table and put the marketing geniuses and the financial people, you know, and give us all the tools we need, to your point, we can build multi-billion-dollar empires.
Yep.
So my thing is, as I stated before the show, I'm a mentor. I believe in mentorship. So let me just say that. I believe in mentor. My grandfather was my first mentor.
Yes.
I'm a mentor to thousands of young women who have been a part of my nonprofit.
Yeah.
I believe in mentorship, and I believe in the power of mentoring. But I just felt like, why is it a requirement to get the funding? Do you not think we are adequate enough, or do you not think we are educated enough, or worthy, or valuable enough that you look at us? Because when we were in that room looking at that documentary, and I could be wrong, maybe that was something that they did not highlight.
Show Her the Money. Just want to let everybody, it's a documentary called Show Her the Money.
Yes. And we saw it the other night. And maybe they didn't highlight this, but I wanted to ask those women, were you mentored?
Yeah.
Because when that lady said she gave her $250,000, I wanted to say, did she require you to be mentored? Yeah. Or did she put you in place with people on her team?
Yeah.
Or ask, do you have people on your team already who can help, with demand, or help with whatever, you know what I mean?
With everything, sourcing,
whatever that looks like, whatever the need, bookkeeping, or do you have something in place where now you have money to do that? You know what I mean? But did we have to be 16-week mentor, 22-week? It's just like,
man, you dropped a bomb on that one.
You're listening to Black Businesses Matter, and we will continue our conversation in a second. But first, take a listen to this special message for our BBM fam.
We know how important it is to stay connected, so why not join our BBM Fam Club for special announcements and exclusive offers by texting BBM FAM to 312-300-1300. That's BBM FAM to 312-300-1300 today. Now let's get back to Black Businesses Matter.
And so I do want to ask people who feel like we'll give you the money, but, the requirement is that, they have to do a 16 or 22 week.
All of them are that.
All of them.
Absolutely correct.
And I'm like, but why? And do you all ask that of our other?
That's true.
Are they asking that of others?
Correct.
And then for me, I think we should ask the question, those who are giving the money or the funders or, where are you in your business?
Yes.
Where do you need help?
Right.
I can sit here and tell you where I need help.
Yep.
Marketing.
Yes. Yep.
Financial, putting in place financial tools, systems, to help my business, I could tell you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's at different places in their business.
And I think we need to be able... But I think what happens is, and I say this sometimes in the spaces, and I'll share this, Deida. I was at an event, and so I went up to, it was a financial professional. So, so I was just talking about some of their funding options, Immediately, so it made me think about why they see us as that. It just made me think. He said, even if you don't have good credit, I never said I didn't, but his response was that. So you have a bias that's probably why we're getting mentored because we don't have good credit.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I think that's the overall story.
Absolutely.
And again, and I've had someone talk about credit. The way that they've set up credit was to set Black and brown people from not being able to have access. So that's a whole nother issue, right? So I do think that is, I think that's the message.
Yes.
So when you build these programs, right? I've seen it where he was like, if you have a 600, we will work with you. I never said, I never said, hey, I've got, my credit's not. I never said a word.
Never anything.
So he made an
implication.
He did.
Yeah.
But that implication is probably what. And so with that,
yes, sure.
So let's give them mentoring so that we can make sure that while we
may be walking in the door with an 850 credit
that's
score.
What some people could be, right?
So I'm very clear about stewardship and paying my bills. That's not where I need help.
That's where I don't need my But that's so. How do you cope? How do you deal with that woman, that Black woman that's in front of you?
We're not asked the questions.
We
first.
are not. We're not.
And let me back up. Shout out to Dr. Kamika Smith. That's my sister.
Yeah. Shout out to the Boss Network.
The Boss Network of all bosses.
Yes.
Shout out to Sage.
Yes.
I'm not saying anything against anybody, but I'm just asking a real question.
You are. I think it's a very
overall.
valid.
I'm not just saying this to them, but to everyone. The entire scope of it. It's just, why are Black women over mentored and underfunded?
And I think we need to dig, and so if you are a Black woman, listen to this episode, really think about that. And I will say this, Deida, as someone who has participated in a number of programs, the best program that I participated in was Ascend at Northwestern.
Oh, wow.
I did Tuck at Dartmouth, and I'm going to shout out Shea Moisture. They gave me a grant and sent. It was a game changer. And I think what I loved about them is while they were in beauty, they did provide grants for beauty professionals, but they also helped out professional service. So I love that they didn't just stick with a beauty brand. Like they gave a mix for us so that we could we could really engage with each other in the areas, while theirs from a product standpoint looks different from a service base.
Absolutely.
So for us to be able to come together, connect, share resources, share tools. And so it was very powerful, but both of those were game changers for me.
Yeah. And even with the Boss Network and Sage, it was a game changer for me. It was a great mentorship.
But see, what happens is, but I think to your point is that there's certain programs that are intentional with connecting those two dots, right?
Yes.
And then those, it's kind of like flagging. It's kind of like putting money at the table. You can't have it until you do this.
It's like dangling a carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think we are seeing that. And I think you're absolutely on point with that, because when we were at Ascend, right, for a week on Northwestern campus, right, at that point, what we were doing was, in that space was, it was for both of the programs, they were very similar, of accelerated Black MBAs for businesses.
Okay.
So you were basically going through a rigorous 5-day course. I mean, in school, from there. But the idea is, right, and this is what was the common denominator, both in Black and not Black. We all don't take time to just invest in the business, right? We saw that, right? Yeah. We didn't take the time. So being there from, 9 a.m., leaving your business, going on campus, waking up and immersing yourself in that experience, right? Yeah. Is huge. But the difference was, those financial partners that became their partners, the blessing of that was, when you said you went through that, then those financial partners know, oh, you got the best expertise. Like, you got the best. So there was, you know what I mean? So it
gave you some credibility.
It gave you some. And I think that's, again, goes back to, building this podcast. And this is that we all need credibility to be able to get to the door. So how do I get that for you to answer my call?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I believe in mentorship. I just see a trend. That's all.
No, I think you're absolutely, because I see it in a lot of these. I'm telling you, from the city, go through 12 weeks of mentoring, then you can do this. But what if and I did one recently because I wanted to get more certifications in the federal government, which, shoot, that ain't gonna matter right now with where we at right now. Right. But a lot of but I did do it. Right. But you go through that to be able to enter that. But I do think that that's also, in some regards, too, we didn't have it before. They weren't inviting us.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's true too.
They weren't. We were not included. To know that. Oh, I could actually get a federal contract, Deida. I could actually, oh my gosh, the city could actually, want to work with me.
Right.
So I think that's the beauty. That's the thing that makes it make sense. So, but I think that's something that we, this month, that we need to think that through. We really do.
Yeah,
I think you're onto something with that.
Like I said, I think digital marketing and all that, I didn't know anything about that, or how that works, and CRM and all that stuff. I think that stuff is important. Sure. Don't get me wrong. And I would like to take classes more on it, and have taken classes. Yep. I'm not against any of it. Yeah. I just feel like it's a requirement for Black women.
It is.
And I guess really my issue is that a requirement for all women?
Come on now. Is that a requirement for all women?
All. I think I'm not saying we don't need it.
Correct. You're not. You're absolutely not.
I'm not saying we do not need it. I'm grateful for it. But is that a requirement for all women?
Yeah. And it's also realizing that the mentors that we have in place, right? Are we also able to honor them to get us to this point too?
That's true.
Because you're meaning that I need mentorship, but I actually have mentorship. So you're assuming that I came to this at this point, at this juncture, without the mentor. Just like when you think about your grandfather, like, that's dope. Everybody don't have a direct, lineage of real mentorship.
Right.
And when I say real, I mean, it's like nobody wants something from you.
Yeah.
It's just, I just want my granddaughter to win.
That's right.
Like, there's a difference versus there's something, in companies where mentorship is, it's kind of like, so I can sponsor you. And so that's something else I want to also bring up, is that to your point, how many Black women have sponsors?
Oh, that's good. Now, I don't know.
But we don't walk in the door and imagine the spaces we've been there. Yeah, I'm here because somebody sponsored me. Somebody flew and gave me. And when I say sponsor, I want to be very clear. Sponsorship in corporate.
Be clear.
In corporations, they say, and again, I haven't been in corporations in a long time, right? In a real long time. So I want to, if people need to clarify that, please clarify. But what I remember it being is that your sponsor literally serves as it's a mentor role, but they also help you advance the career within the inside of the business, of the company. So whether that means, going in and saying, let's put professional development in Larvetta Lofton to go to this particular weekend.
Yes.
And
See, I like
allow
that.
And so that sponsor,
I love that.
And so I think what we have to think about, Deida, is that how could we look at mentorship as more sponsoring?
Oh, I love that.
I
love that idea.
They can sponsor and say, listen, I'm sponsoring you to go and attend 3 conferences, one in LA, one in Arizona, that literally speaks to this area that you are looking, that you need.
Yes.
Instead of taking her through 12 weeks of maybe 6, I know, but there's 2 I need real help. 22. I don't need just one, right? Yeah. I need a full immersion of it.
Because Baygood, I went in 2023, Baygood. Remember Beyonce was on tour and she was giving away $10,000 to businesses in each city, which was dope.
It was so dope.
That was so dope. That was so dope. I wish more entertainers would do something like that.
Monica, my friend Monica, Polish Work, in the space of that, she got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she
got it. Yeah. It was nice to know that it was somebody you knew.
Exactly. And they announced it the day of.
They did.
And so I was one of the recipients, but I was one who applied.
Oh,
and I was just so happy. So I was in a room, and then I love how they did. The team is incredible. And we were at Four Seasons for the brunch, just to be in the space. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whether you want or not.
And so there's a point where she sponsored. Yeah, I think we've got to learn. I think we've got to.
I said, go on, Beyonce. Yeah, it was dope.
It was, and that's what she said. She said it was so dope. And knowing that, I think we need sponsorships.
Yeah,
more
people can say Beyonce gives back.
She does.
I can honestly say she does. For her to go to each city and pick out.
Yep.
Black businesses have her team,
And then for them to both travel to Black businesses when they came in to those markets and build that business.
And build that business up.
Yeah. It changed a friend's business that I know.
It does. It's a change. It's a game changer. It is a game changer. So I was a part of that, and just to be there was just incredible. Yeah. But after that, for those who did not win the $10,000, they offered you mentorship.
Okay.
It was through United Village or something like that.
Okay.
And I did not finish the program.
Okay.
Because I felt I was at a place in my business where I didn't need that particular mentorship.
Got it. Same thing that you're saying is to, again, why don't we pinpoint the areas that we really need?
Yeah.
I think that's a fair observation.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair observation.
But I was happy to see that they, did offer something to those who did not receive the $10,000. Like I said, I'm not saying mentorship is not important. I'm not saying that we don't need it, but I think we need to determine where we need the mentorship and what areas in our business we need it in. And then provide those services in those areas. And then again, my question would be, are the only ones that need mentorship? And are we,
is it for all women?
Or for all women?
Yeah, I think that's a valid. Guys, that's something for us all to marinate on and really think through. That I think we need to really think that through. I think you brought it up for us to be more culturally sensitive about that and not allow that to be kind of pushed down our throats. Yeah. Maybe we do need to ask the question back to make sure we understand. So I think that's amazing. Brag moment. This is our BBM brag moment. Anything that you can brag about.
What can I brag about.
Yes, come through,
sis.
See. Come through. I told you I was going to pull it out of you. I was like, you're not leaving here without bragging. This is the month to brag.
Well, Bixa Beauty is in the process of an international trademark because we will be sourcing and manufacturing in Ghana.
Woo!
Yes.
That's a brag moment. I love it. And because I'm going to Ghana and I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm here. And because my sister here has her products here, y'all. That would be so, I mean, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So we are in the very preliminary stages.
I love it.
But it is definitely a vision of mine.
I love it.
And to bring economic development to that country.
I love it. I also could see a really great ad. Watching that that documentary and seeing the ad of Indy Wilds when she saw that,
sure.
it just made me think to see you to roll up in Ghana and see an ad would just be beautiful.
You know what's interesting, Loretta? When I saw that, when she saw her ad, I saw me.
See.
I saw you. I saw me.
And I can see. So sitting here, I can see you too.
I saw me.
Yeah.
I was like, that's gonna be me also.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
And my ad is gonna be up there.
No, it is. I can totally see it.
Yeah, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me.
I look forward to that, y'all.
Yes.
So for all of us that are going to the, to Ghana, the motherland, hey guys, say a prayer. And make sure that Bixa Beauty will be there in Ghana very soon. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank
she
you.
did say international trademark. So just so you know, that's another thing.
Yes.
She's not moving without that.
That's
I
right.
think that's powerful too.
That's right.
To be able to say that. So, we've got to do this moment because when we asked her, we told her we were going video. She was like, oh, let me put my lipstick on. She didn't come with lipstick, y'all. And it's I was feeling a certain kind of way. I was like, I'm not going to get me that lipstick. But it's okay. But the part that we wanted to showcase, because we were like, oh, do it on air just because we want. But the reason why I want you to do this, why you tell us why Black businesses matter. So as you put that lipstick on and that lip whip,
I've been marinating on that question. It's so many reasons. It's so many reasons why Black businesses matter.
And I'm glad you marinate as you whip up your lip.
But I whip up my
You gonna whip up your. And I only say that because as women, before we get on camera, we gotta be put together.
We gotta be
and
put
I love
together.
that you did that in such just like a
Let me
moment.
see what you want.
It was just a special moment that only women, because we talking about women. And Black women can do, because I think we just, it's like, yes. So you got to tell us because you are a Black business, as you just kind of touch up, with the lip whip, so you could tell us.
Touch up because it's not.
It really is.
It's no smudge.
It's no smudge.
Nothing.
She done drank some water and everything, and it still didn't smudge.
So let's see. Why does Black businesses matter? Black businesses matter because.
And we've never done this like this. So look at her. She's just making history here on the podcast.
Hey, so Black businesses matter because we are probably the highest consumers in the world.
We are.
And Black businesses matter because if we don't support each other, no one else will. Black businesses matter because we are dynamic.
Yes.
We are innovators.
Yes.
And because we are the least probably class of people who get the funding that we need to succeed.
We do.
And so we matter. Our voices matter. Our businesses matter.
Yep.
And we have to create an ecosystem that matters.
Yes.
For one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
And so that's what this platform does.
Yeah.
Your podcast.
Thank you.
Even naming it Black businesses matter. It's important. And sometimes people, they get, they feel threatened or intimidated when we say Black people. But we're Black. I mean, we're Black women. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not, and
Black
it's like,
is beautiful.
it's a beautiful thing, and we're just advocating for who we are.
Yes.
And we're advocating for what we believe in and what matters
and what matters
to us. And it matters to us.
It does.
And so we're not saying that other people don't matter. It's just that, come on, there is some you know, the scales are not balanced.
It's not.
You know, and we need to take the elephant, you know, address the elephant in the room.
I agree.
And have a come to Jesus moment.
And to know that even when I was watching you put that on, it was a moment that says, right, as you put your face on to walk into that room, to close that deal, to go after that funding, that there was a Black woman that thought of you when you put that lipstick on.
That's right.
There is someone while you are in that room with people that don't look like you, but there are products that are made for you so that when you're in that room, you're not by yourself.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
Absolutely.
That what you're doing is setting a stage for us to win, to know that there was somebody that thought about me. Because when you're in that room by yourself, it's frightening.
It is. And it can be intimidating.
Oh, all day, every day.
All day, every day.
You know, so that's a real thing. So what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? A lot of laughter.
Oh, and you smile a lot, which I love. She is a smile girl.
I love to laugh. I love people who love to laugh. You know
got
what I
a
mean?
beautiful smile.
Oh,
to
thank
laugh.
you. Thank you.
You do.
You know, just laughter, some champagne.
Come on now. Let's bring the bubbles.
And traveling.
Love it. Keep us honest. Keep us honest.
That's what brings me joy, you know, and people who have really good spirits, you know, just really good intentions for people, you know. That's what brings me joy.
Oh, that's
beautiful. And money.
You know what, Deida? I can't see like, let me just, no one's ever said money. And I'm listening like, but that's a real thing.
No, it's a real thing.
It does bring joy.
It does. Because if somebody dropped $20K right now, I'm going to be like, okay.
Well, I got a whole lot of joy.
I got a whole lot of joy. I'm going to wake up. I'll probably go run on the lake, go do about 10 miles. I'm like, oh, that bill paid off. Because I ain't looking to go to Louis or Gucci or nothing. I'm looking to pay a bill off.
I know that's right, Deida.
So that'll bring me joy.
Honest. Oh my gosh. This was the best interview. I love it when, you know, I just love when I get to do this. And I will say this, that, you know, every time I want to quit, because I love when you say that, because you do. I mean, it is a struggle every day to say yes to something that sometimes you don't always believe that it yields the same thing in return. Yeah. But when I get to hear these stories, it gives me another push to say, don't stop, Larvetta.
And it's interesting you say that, Larvetta, because when I hear people say, I love your product, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. You know, it gives me like hope.
Yeah,
you know what
I
mean?
Does.
Oh, I'm
and then when they say it, you need it.
Yeah.
Right at
and
that
even
moment.
when I get the not so good feedback, okay, we're a startup. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're raising money to get the machine to crank out 1,000, but right now we make it by hand. But it is made in a true manufacturing lab. You know what I mean? So give me the feedback. I need all of it.
You do.
You know?
We do. We need all the good and the bad.
We need all the bad.
And I'm just going to say that.
And keep out the ugly.
And I was going to say that the bad is
we can
necessary.
be ugly.
We can be very ugly.
Girl.
Give us the feedback.
Yeah.
And I say feedback because sometimes we give the shade.
Yeah, we do.
Instead, give the feedback.
Yeah.
Right?
I've had some people give reviews and it was, ugly. And I'm like,
wow.
You can get feedback without being ugly.
You really can. That's shade.
That's shade.
To me.
To me, too. It's a little haterish,
It's a little haterish to me.
I'm just saying. We could be,
I'm just saying. Because you could say, in some regards, I tell people sometimes, right, even in my, like, tell me, right, don't say, oh, that's cute if her bra strap wasn't showing.
Right.
No, sis, fix your bra, boo.
Exactly.
And, that's fixable. That's feedback is fixable.
Absolutely.
Right? Shade is shade.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had somebody say, oh, your lips are, terrible. They're horrible.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
That's deep.
Yeah. So,
some words just shouldn't be in the dictionary, but that's just Larvetta Lofton. I just don't think certain. I actually don't like ugly and skinny and fat. Yeah. Those three words should never be. Because I just don't think that they're good words for people that you should ever say to people. Somebody, right? Food. The food was terrible. Okay, maybe they had a bad day. But, ugly, fat, skinny. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that hurts.
Yeah.
You know? So, guys, check out Bixa Beauty. I want you to share that again with the listeners and our viewers so that they can check you out this month.
Absolutely.
It's, Mother's Day. It's It's prom season. It's wedding season. So go ahead and pick up the next lip whip. Please tell them where they can order and how to connect with you.
You can order Bixa Beauty at www.bixabeauty.com. And please follow us on Instagram at Bixa Beauty. And follow us on Facebook at Bixa Beauty. And that's our platform.
Oh my gosh. This was a pleasure.
It was great.
I'm so
great
excited. We ran into each other and I was like, I want you on the show. And baby, she got all the things in and was like, yep, I'm going to be on the show. And she is here. So for those that still want to be a guest on the show, I don't know, but I know the producers always. Shout out to Katori Shepherd, who is my associate producer, who really gets she really does all the things. So y'all wonder how I do this. I don't do this by myself. So be clear. But if you like what you heard today, please give us some feedback. Leave us a review. I've been noticing that we're pulling up on great. I love that we're increasing, but y'all don't talk to us. Y'all don't tell us, I really like this show. Yeah. I really appreciate this show. So this month, as a Black woman who runs a business, who has a podcast, you could do me a favor and write us a review and let us know how we could be better, who you would like to see on the show, like other people that you would like to see on the show. Maybe what was your favorite podcast episode? We just want to hear from you. So please, guys, text us 312-300-1300. Thank you for another episode of Black Businesses Matter. See you next week.
The Black Businesses Matter podcast is produced by the L3 Agency, a culturally sensitive influencer, marketing, and communications firm in Chicago, where relationships are our currency, passion is our profit maker, and people are our bottom line. Follow us on Instagram at Black Businesses Matter.